Where are you on expectations for first quarter GDP?
I think that, the government's estimate that we're losing 1.5% each week seems reasonable. That's direct and indirect effects. I think the direct effects, a lot of that gets made up in the second quarter. So you're going to go like a seesaw, but not all of it will, because some of that, as Steve mentioned, just doesn't happen. So we'll have a little bit of a pothole, and I think the bigger question is whether we lose confidence, whether businesses and consumers sort of more broadly react to this environment and get a little bit more cautious. Just the broader sort of chaotic environment that we've been seeing, whether that...
For the quarter itself, just one quarter print of softer GDP, could that boost the market because of what it might do to Fed expectations?
I think we're kind of seeing it right now. I think maybe the idea that we had this shutdown, I don't think you need to see the number for that psychology to take effect. Basically, people came into this year kind of hoping and expecting the Fed to be on pause indefinitely or for at least a couple of quarters, perhaps. This probably solidifies that view. But I'd be interested to hear, and see what the Fed thinks about it. If they feel as if it's just a round trip in the numbers and we're going to make it up and it doesn't necessarily change the broader outlook.
I think, Steve, it should give them another reason to be patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely true. Just by way of some news today, John Williams, the New York Fed president, speculated that it could be 0.5 to a full percentage point off of GDP. And Mike, my read so far is, I don't know if it's a yawn or a shrug or a get out of here, we don't really care. But the market seems to really not be that focused on the issue of the slowdown that would be the result of the shutdown. I think they're focused on other aspects. The other thing is we're not going to know exactly how the Fed incorporates this on a full year basis. I believe, and Julia can back me up on this, I think it's March. We'll get the next round of forecast for the Fed until March. We're obviously going to get a chance, by the way, to ask Powell about this and how he's thinking about it at the January press conference, but not until March will Fed officials put pen to paper and make those forecasts public. So, and they might do that in some speeches between now and then as well.
Julia?
I think that's right, though. The nice thing about having a press conference is that Chair Powell will have the opportunity to give their best guess. And I think that they've been very clear that caution is the name of the game right now. They're not in a hurry to do anything right now.
Does that mean the next move is a hike or a cut?
I think that they are completely agnostic. John Williams was the latest to say that. Like, they just are going to wait and see. Right now, they've brought rates up to something that's closer to neutral. And now they can just see whether this market volatility has any signal for the economy, whether the government shutdown has a meaningful impact, whether they are done hiking. They're open-minded to that
Julia?
right now.
Julia, if we hold on one second,
sorry,
Julia, if we look at the international picture, we got some slightly softer than expected Japanese inflation this morning. It adds to some softer data that we've been getting out of Europe. Do you think that if we were rewound the clock 6 months, anything you expect from the ECB or the BOJ is put on hold? Because if the Fed's putting things on hold, you might have expected a softer dollar, but it's not like that environment's really playing out because of the international picture.
That's right. I mean, really the international picture is the key, I think, both to the ECB and the BOJ and the Fed, because what we're worried here is about contagion from a slower global economy into the U.S. We had no warning signs other than market volatility that the U.S. was really slowing in a meaningful way. The data have been very solid. So it's really about how hard does China land, how much do they stimulate, and what are the ripple effects around the globe? And that's going to take some time to assess.
Okay.
How many other apples will there be in terms of the warning?
Exactly.